All right, cool. So I am live again simultaneously on Instagram and YouTube during um, this live session here. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let me just switch around my screen here. All right. So whether you are here live now or you are catching the replay, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. And I'm so excited to share the knowledge that I have with you today. So a few notes before we begin. There are two things that you should be clear on before you start to plan for 2023. So you should be clear on your brand identity. So that's more than just the visuals. That's also like the messaging and your business statement, stuff like that, and your intentions for the year. So if you are not clear on your brand identity and your brand intentions for the year, then I do have some videos on my channel, which you can check out after this live. After this live here, you can catch the link for those in my bio. And then the second thing is this isn't going to be like a full-on tutorial just because this is stuff that I go over with my clients, but we will go over the more important things to help you get started on your own. And this information I'm going to share today is also going to help you like lead into the like the next steps that you have to do. So yeah, this is still going to be very packed with information here for you. All right. So the most important thing when you're planning for 2023 is to get your back end in order. So you'll want to start with your client journey. Even if you aren't sure like where to start with that right now, just write out the basics of what you do know. All right. Well, they go to my website or they DM me first on Instagram, and then from there, I chat with them or I send them to this link or whatever the case may be. So just start writing out the stuff that you do know that is for sure a part of your process to help you get your creative juices flowing. So this includes parts like of course, like when you're first interacting with them, even like when they're in your community, what they can expect from interacting with you, like on your videos, on your content and stuff like that, when they're your actual client, and then after they are no longer your client as well. The goal here is, of course, to keep them coming back and working with you longer, right? And so my biggest advice for this part is to work off of feedback and from people that have gone through this process with you. So even if it's people that didn't sign up with you, like just reach out to them and be like, hey, I know we didn't get to work together, but is there anything that I could have done differently? I would just love your feedback and wishing you the best in your business or whatever the case may be, or however you're interacting with them. So that's a great way to get feedback from people. All right. So after you do that, so you'll want to go through your customer journey, your audience journey, stuff like that. And then that's when you start getting like your CRM in order. So the CRM is really important because it's going to help you streamline as much of the process as possible and keep important data. So if you ask if you have team members, I definitely recommend asking your team members for their input with this process. Like they'll likely have information on what you can do better. Like, oh, hey, this is kind of a lengthy process for us to send a client an email, or it's kind of a lengthy process for us to do XYZ. So just make sure that you are getting their input. Even if it's something that you can't fix right away, it's important to like reach that goal to fix that in the future. They'll also likely hear like common grievances from your clients or those in your community. So really important to get feedback from your teammates if you work with, even if it's contractors, employees, whatever the case may be, whoever works with you in your company. Okay. And then if you notice there is a theme here, it's again building off of feedback and strictly data. When we're doing this part, we don't want to involve too much emotion. We want to make sure that we are really just going off of the data and the feedback that we've been given. Okay, because that's where things can get messy. All right. So next is evaluating your skills or knowledge, and that of your team. So the point of this is to, of course, like grow and take your business to the next level. But the thing is here that um, because the point of business isn't like to do it all yourself either. Like you should definitely have the goal to grow and learn and be better, because at the end of the day, that's not sustainable. If anything, you know, fingers crossed, nothing happens, but it can be difficult to keep up with if anything ever happens to you. So the goal should always be to bring on a team member to help take over certain tasks that you are not capable of doing right now. So that's why it's important to evaluate, you know, your skills and the knowledge of that of your team. So again, thinking long term for the what ifs. Now, this isn't to, of course, overwhelm you or make you feel anxious. Even if you are just a solopreneur right now, not having a team is okay. Not having a plan in place is okay for now, but you definitely need to plan for that. That's why I'm having this session, to hopefully help you set that plan, get that plant that seed for you to plan for that in 2023. So, um, so again, to focus on the future and solutions. Now, if it's just you, go back to the customer journey and think about what improvements you want to make based on the feedback that you've received. And if you have the skill set to do that on your own. So if the feedback is, hey, not even the skill set, I guess, even also time, because there's a lot involved with that. So you may not have time to do every little thing yourself. So that might be an opportunity for you to bring someone on. So um, if if you don't have the time, so if you lack the time or the skills, you know, whatever the case may be, then come up with a priority list of those and start looking for service providers that can help you with those. So whether that's like a VA, um, brand strategist, a brand designer, something like that, something to help take certain things off your plate. I know social media is a very common one for a lot of business owners. So there's definitely ways that you can come up with that. Maybe you still handle like the strategy, but you get help from a service provider on like the graphics. You know, that's one thing that I help my clients with. I create, you know, templates for them to use to stay on brand. Once we do like the brand design and stuff like that to make it easier for everyone. But so those are things that you can plan for. So even if it's just like little sections, it's okay. Uh, but the goal should be to have someone help you with like eventually every part of your business in case you need to be doing other things. All right. And then if you have a team, make sure to look at their strengths and their weaknesses and how you can adjust to play off those. Maybe it's time to hire additional people. And the harsh reality of business is that sometimes the people that you started with aren't necessarily the people that you grow with. Um, Sometimes the people that you started with can, in fact, hinder you. Um, and it's not to say that you have any ill feelings towards them or anything like that, but it may be time to replace them with someone that can help you. So I'll give you an example. So my husband's uncle, he was just telling me the story not so long ago. He had a business partner, but the business partner wasn't a very good leader, um, as far as like the overall like business CEO mindset kind of goes. So he, um, his uncle was like forced with this this decision whether to stay stagnant or to grow his business to the next level. And he made the decision that it was time for him to grow his business to the next level. And that meant that he needed to take his business partner away from those leadership roles. Of course, he offered him a chance to like stay on the company as you know, the role that he had at previous places, but you know, naturally he didn't take that. And when they went their separate ways. So that can be, you know, um, an example. Shortly after they went their separate ways, his uncle was able to open up several more stores, and his business really took a turn. So that's not to say that your team right now can't handle it. I'm sure they can, but that's why this is important, because maybe it's time to transition and to grow, and sometimes you do outgrow. I know I've talked about that in my content before on YouTube, but I think that sometimes we just outgrow, the people that we're around, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, but here's the other part of that. The other side of that is that maybe that person that you started off with is ready to be elevated in their position. They've learned, they've grown, they've contributed so much to your company. You've seen them help others growing and learning in their own roles as well. And that's the kind of person that you want to elevate. Not necessarily just someone that is good at their role, but someone that has taken the time to help others grow in their role as well. So those are things that you should think about as a business owner, as when you notice like an employee that's doing something like that. Hey, they're growing, they're learning, they're doing great in their position, but they are also helping other people learn and grow in their positions. And those are the type of leaders that you want to elevate in your company. You don't want to lose out on an amazing team member like that. So make sure that you're recognizing those and elevating them when it's appropriate. Okay, and along this entire way, you should definitely be getting feedback from those involved in the process. So again, if you have contractors, team members, stuff like that, then this is the time to ask them for feedback along in the process. If you're looking at that team member, make sure you ask them like, hey, is this the type of role that you would like to have? And of course, try to sell them on it a little bit, but also respect like, hey, I don't think I could handle, if they say, I don't think I could handle, running a team of X amount, then you have to kind of respect that and offer maybe some coaching and stuff like that to help them with that. But yeah, but if you are alone, then this is the time to ask, your partner, your spouse, if they are, knowledgeable in the business space, I guess, or a mentor. Mentors are great to ask. A business bestie that's been there, something, someone to bounce ideas off of. I think co-working spaces are a great place to do that. You can ask questions and kind of get feedback for things that you're doing. So, yeah, so those are a couple of things. And then lastly, I know this wasn't going to be like a super in-depth tutorial on exactly how to do it all, because again, that's something that I help clients with. But I have been working on something for my business, and using the experience that I've had in sales, and data tracking in businesses and stuff like that. So that's when I came up with the idea of creating ClickUp templates to help those that may be struggling with tracking their leads, but aren't quite ready to take that next step to hire a service provider to help them with that, right? So at the end of this month, you'll be able to purchase for a low cost the ClickUp template. The template is also going to have a video tutorial on how to make edits to fit your business needs and your own KPIs, and set up unique dashboards on ClickUp so you can quickly see the data at a glance when you need to. Now, I am definitely breaking the rules here. So, number one thing that you should do after watching this live, if you are not clear on your brand basics or intentions for 2023, please go watch those videos I've got on YouTube, because they are definitely going to help you as you start to approach some of these questions that you're asking while you're planning for 2023. Your back end, your customer journey, the evaluating your time, skills, and the time and skills of your team. Okay, so number one, go watch those on YouTube if you have not already. Number two, if you need a helping hand with leveling up your lead management, then sign up for the waitlist using the link in my bio, where you'll also qualify for a special pre-launch discount before the template goes live. It's the same exact template that I use along with my that I use in my business, along with some scripts that I've developed from my time and again in the B2C and B2B sales and data analytics as a starting point to help you create something that eventually works for you. These templates are highly customizable, so you can switch them as you see fit, as your business grows and as you see the need. All right. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to DM me or drop them in the comments. You never know who may have the same questions as you. Thank you so much for joining me or catching the replay. I will see you around.